Okay, we're live.
Right, we're rolling. Okay.
Happy birthday!
Thank you. Yeah.
I think we can all wish Harry a happy birthday today.
Thank you, everybody.
31 years young.
Yes. Yeah. 31 today, and we thought we'd check in.
Yep.
Since it's been a little while since we did the last live stream. We did record a video in the meantime.
Yeah.
We went camping. We've yet to upload that, so we did a little check-in from the woods.
Yeah.
So we'll be putting that up too.
It's very smoky.
Yeah.
There's a lot of smoke going on.
It's a smoky shoot, that one.
Yeah.
So yeah, but that was good. We got out in the end. We said we were going to do it for a long time. We finally pinned down a time that we could do it.
Yeah.
And we got out.
How was it for you?
So, like, hiking out there and setting up, it was great fun.
Yeah.
But for the night, I just didn't expect it to get as cold as it did.
It was cold, wasn't it?
And I probably woke up about 11 o'clock and I kind of drifted back in and out of sleep, but my back was just fucking... Sorry, everybody. My back was icicles, probably just like, jack that.
Yeah.
Like...
it was very, very, very cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my back was just like, and I was kind of like trying to turn on, because we were in hammocks.
Yeah.
And I brought a blanket to pad the hammock with,
Yeah.
but I was like, I'm not going to need it, so I didn't go to the trouble, but I should have.
It was, it was. So to put it in context, this has been the second coldest August, or I think it's the joint coldest August on record.
Right.
It was really cold. Now, I'd packed my trusty British Army Arctic sleeping bag, which has been described as a lusty old wench.
Yeah.
It's a big bag. It's very warm, and I very rarely have to layer up with anything inside when I'm packing that. I'm normally sleeping in a t-shirt and not much else. So I don't want to get TMI about it. But
I've already sullied this
Yeah.
show with my language.
it's fine. It's a kid show. But I'd gone in with I'd taken my Snugpack Sleeker Elite jacket, which I swear by when it gets really cold in the mornings. I'm thinking I'll get out of my bag, I'll get my jacket on, I can make a brew and get a pipe on and keep warm. I ended up having to put it on in August. I was absolutely stunned at how cold it was. So whatever this kind of climate change business is going on, I'm not sure what's going on with that.
Warming.
Yeah, it certainly wasn't very warm in our part of the globe the week before last. So yeah, in fact it was last week, wasn't it? So it was pretty cold. But it was good. It was good to get smoke on outside. The wood was very damp.
Yeah, it was.
So we had to really work. Neither of us took any gas stuff out with us, did we?
No.
So we had to work at getting a brew on. It really put our firelighting, damp wood firelighting skills to the test.
It did. But we were smoking, the pair of us, the old Eric Stockerby 4th generation 1931 Flake, which is...
It's lovely.
Beautiful, yeah.
It's a cracking smoke, that.
And when we went camping last year, I picked up a tin of this for the camp.
Yeah.
On the recommendation of Antti Wittgenstein, who is a prolific poster on the Reddit pipe smoking forum. He recommended this to me, and it was beautiful, yeah. So, for nostalgia's sake, we got another one.
We're making it a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the Camping Flake.
It's the Camping Flake.
And it's beautiful, yeah.
It's really good.
It's a Virginia Burley with, kind of like grassy, citrusy kind of Virginias. Typical sort of Virginias, but with a good hit of burley. Yeah. And a nice, not subtle, but not overpowering honey brown sugar kind of a casing.
I think it's very well balanced, actually. Even the Virginias are really, they're not overpowering. They're not really bitey. It's not a bitey flake.
No.
It's a very sensible, very very cool, very enjoyable smoke. I think very very well rounded.
Yeah.
Any time of day, any kind of drink in combination with, I think it'll it's just a really nice easygoing smoke.
Yeah, and just to say, the morning after when I dropped Dion off, because we bought this tin together and we're going to split it tonight, but I took away a little flake with me, and I left it in the car for like 3 days.
Yeah.
And it dried out to like, it was a crispy boy by the time I was smoking, and it still was really flavourful.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's good. Sign of a good tobacco.
Yeah, and I smoked it in the cob, and it was lovely. Yeah,
outstanding. I have got my Gawith Hogarth Bob's Chocolate Flake, and you described this as a banger.
Yeah,
it absolutely is a banger.
It's a certified hood classic.
It is absolutely out of this world.
Yeah,
it's got everything. It's got a bit of burley in there. It's got a touch of Latakia.
8% Latakia.
So just a little bit. It's not overpowering at all. It's very mild. It's a very mild smoky kind of a flavour.
So don't be put off by that addition of Latakia. It's not like overpowering at all.
It's not at all. And with the casing, so it's mildly cased with chocolate and vanilla.
Whiskey. So it's chocolate and whiskey. I think the chocolate is much more predominant than the whiskey.
Yeah, I get no chocolate. Right?
But it's also got some Lakeland essence, definitely. Yeah. Definitely got some Lakeland perfume in it.
And that little bit of sweetness. It all adds up. It sounds like a bit of a weird combination, that, but it all adds up.
It does sound weird, yeah. But it is good.
But it's good. It's really good.
And it's good with the hot chocolate if you want to make a hot chocolate.
It comes with a great tin. I've never had it in a tin before.
No.
I picked a tin up and it's got a wacky sort of person. She's having fun there.
Yeah.
Smoke through a gas mask. What are you doing? It's great. Some nice artwork inside actually. But yeah, it's a lovely smoke.
The British tin art people really need to. They really need to rethink.
It's from the game.
Yeah, because I don't know.
It looks more like a Cradle of Filth album than a tin of.
That's not really glamorising.
It's not, is it? No, it's not. Like, come on, raise your game, lads.
So, yeah, we're just doing a little short one tonight, a little check-in. It's been my birthday. Taking the kids out this morning. We went to Legoland and Sea Life.
No wonder you're swearing.
Yeah. But we all had fun. It was a really nice day. And now we're checking in. We're gonna have something to eat after this.
And a stick.
Yeah, and then we're gonna have a cigar. So when we were camping, and in fact when we filmed the video, I was on the last couple of inches of a Oscar Valladares Leaf Maduro Lancero.
Yeah.
It was absolutely beautiful. So Lancero, we're talking about like 7 inches long, but quite a thin ring gauge. I think like 34 ring gauge.
Yeah.
So quite thin, but absolutely gorgeous, rich chocolate smoke. And you liked it so much that you got one for. You like the smell of it so much that you got one for tonight.
I did.
And I'm going to be smoking a Plasencia Almafuerte Robusto, which I'm looking forward to.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So we've got a couple of guys on. We've got George. Evening, gents. George asked how the French trip was. Went pretty well, I think.
Yeah, it was good. Thank you, man. It was good. I really enjoyed it. The locals were cool. The food was very good. Kids had a good time. The weather held up. It was a really nice trip.
Good.
Really, really enjoyed it. It was really good.
And we've got Highland Duncan.
Ooh, hello, Duncan.
God bless you.
Good to see you in again. Yeah.
Both very well, young man. And we've got Tater Dom on. Cheers, everyone.
Tater Dom.
Cheers, Tater Dom.
He's been a regular these last few months. Thank you, Tater Dom.
Great to have you with us.
For checking in.
So yes, we've got a couple. So the camping video was completely down to my laziness not uploading, but that's going to go up in the next day or two.
Yeah, that just needs a quick clean up.
A bit of a tweak. Yeah, a bit of a snip, but it's looking all right. And then we've got some other stuff that we're going to look to try and get involved in. So we were having a chat about this on the way to go and picking some bourbon up, weren't we?
Yes.
It's coming to that time of month. So we've got September to get through, which I think we're going to keep Scorsese September.
Yes.
So we've got a couple to get through.
And we might be putting on a flick after this.
Bro, 100%.
Yeah.
So Casino, I'd like us to watch. It's like kind of like the spiritual sequel to Goodfellas, and Silence, which I still haven't seen yet, but is confirmed necessary viewing for the Christian gentleman.
Yeah,
and the Scorsese aficionado.
I mean, it's a move away from obviously the mob stuff and the New York scene.
Yeah,
but it's definitely worth the watch.
That's a good move. Could maybe try and fit in The Irishman before the end of the month.
Yeah.
As a kind of like the triptych, like Goodfellas, Casino, The Irishman would be pretty good. And then we're thinking October as being the month of Halloween. It'd be nice to do a little bit, but sticking with the Italian vibes.
Yes.
We'd like to go and get stuck into some giallo.
Yes, some giallo, which is Italian for yellow.
Okay. What's with that?
I don't know.
Scary yellow.
Yeah.
Yellow snow?
Yeah, maybe.
Pretty scary.
Yeah. But obviously big name in that field being Dario Argento. Suspiria.
Yeah.
And yeah, I kind of got into it recently. I was watching a couple of the old Italian flicks. I watched Demons and Demons 2, and a couple of others. So apparently, I mean, you're like an audio guy. Apparently, like what the Italians did is they filmed everything without audio, including dialogue.
That's quite common. So the film. So typically, you'll film with production audio. So they'll have production sounds. They'll have the guys with the booms on set as well. But one thing that the Italian scene was really good at was all like the Foley and the described it as ADR, which is automated dialogue replacement, which isn't really automatic. It's like re-recording basically. You re-record the I was going to say vocals, but like the sounds that the voice over the top.
Right.
So the actors would often come in and redo it. Now that gets used quite a lot because obviously we're on a production. You've got lots of other sounds going off. You've got, I most certainly will, thanks bro. You've got the sound of traffic, or you've got somebody coughing in the background, or whatever it is. Thanks bro, that's great. And so typically they'll often re-record that dialogue to get a really clean take on it. So yes, they can use like lavalier mics, and they'll have like booms and stuff, but specifically for voice, it just picks up really well when you've got like studio conditions to do that, and you can start treating it there. But the other thing they were really good at was the Foley and the sound effects that they would put in for stuff. So you can see them. There's a film that I'd also like to watch as part of this horror month, the Berberian Sound Studio, where they show, which is all about the art of making sound for Italian horror films.
Right.
And I think it's based loosely on Suspiria, on the filming of Suspiria. There's one bit where it's about screams and just recording screams, and it's really weird. You've got like these Italian chicks in a booth just screaming. Sounds a bit like my house actually, or my mind. But so it's Toby Jones, the guy that plays the sound recordist, and he goes to do some. He loves his like found sound, so he goes out into soundscape, recording soundscapes out in the woods and in the fields and hills of England, and it looks really nice and lush, and you hear the birds singing, and then it kind of cuts to him like stabbing cabbages, or like bubbling stuff. It's supposed to be like the boiling of somebody's head in a boil. So, and then it shows you what they're actually recording it for. It's really good. It's a really good film, and it's quite a good way of seeing how they made all those freaky sounding soundtracks.
Right. Oh, that sounds good. Yeah. You recommended that to me. I'll have to give that a watch. So there's some famous sounds like the Wilhelm scream, right?
Yes, that's right. Yeah,
that gets used in pretty much everything. And you'll recognise, if you don't already know it, it's like Wah!
Yeah,
you'll hear it like when people like fall off something, or like it's in a lot of war scenes.
It is. It's in Star Wars. It's in all the
Lord
Indiana Jones. It's in Indiana. It's in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
And then there's one that's like. It's like this weird, like this build-up raw scream.
Right.
I can't remember what that one's called now, but that gets used a lot.
Right.
But yeah, once you've heard it, like you can't ever unhear it.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah.
The other thing is, like everyone, like when you say like what sounds a frog make, and to your kid, and they go ribbit, ribbit. But obviously, most frogs do not go ribbit.
Yeah.
But apparently, like that's because when like Hollywood put in frog sounds, they recorded a certain specific species of Californian frog that does go ribbit.
Oh.
But now everyone thinks all frogs go ribbit.
There you go.
Yeah.
George R says, did you manage to get to visit some French tobacconists and get your hands on some French leaf?
No, I didn't.
Well, it was a bit of a thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, I did have a look around, and I was using like broken French and like English to try and get some pipe tobacco, but it just wasn't around. It was a rolling scene. It was a rolling tobacco scene.
As it happened, my parents were in northern France the week after you were, and I said to Mum and Dad, "Can you go and pick us up some Caparel?" And they said, "Oh yeah, what is it?" So I explained it to them, like what it looks like, what the packet looks like. I've still got the. See, that's better box art. Look at that. Better. Look, you got a nice lad. Look, enjoying himself. Look, got his
great hair.
Vincent, right? Whoever he is, but he's enjoying himself. Look, he's having a cracking time. Not somebody, puffing on a gas tank. Nobody wants to look at that. So they went to the tabac, right? And they were like, "Oh, can we get some Semois, please?" In my dad's best broken French, and they go. But actually, my dad, that's doing my dad a bit of a disservice because he does speak quite good French. And he turned up and they were like, "Quoi?" Semois, s'il vous plaît.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Never heard of it." Like, you silly Englishman. Like, no. Yeah. So we didn't get any. But
no.
I got some soap instead. So I don't know what that's trying to tell me there. Stop smoking and have a wash.
Yeah. So I'm actually smoking my little GQ. So if you're an English pipe smoker or a British pipe smoker, you'll probably know about GQ, which is an online shop out of Newcastle, and they do their own little line of pipes, and this is one of them. It's the Merlot rusticated small billiard. It's a really good smoker, and I'm smoking in it my some Burley Flake, Cornell and Deal Burley Flake number 1, and that brings us on to like a little quick round of reviews that the last batch of blends that we got.
Yes, yeah, we had some corkers. I'll just go through so just on the Semois tobacco. So absolutely right. George says they might have thought I said my dad had said Semois. It's me.
Right. Right. Semois. Yeah.
That's a possibility.
It's me.
It's me. Yeah. Like what? So that is a distinct possibility.
They probably thought he was like some kind of like diplomat or like.
Yeah. Not for very long. So George says should have gone to Pipe du Nord. Pipe du Nord is where I think we end up doing another parish trip.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, be it a church thing, if I'm going to go visit the cathedral, I most certainly will be heading to Pipe du Nord. And who is PRA said, "Cheers, guys." You mean the Wilhelm scream? We absolutely do mean the
Yes, the Wilhelm scream. Yeah.
And also, he wishes you a happy birthday.
Oh, thank you, brother. Thanks for joining us again.
C&D blends.
Yeah.
Well, they're pretty good, man.
We've been
they're
really
pretty good.
Really
it cost us.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
But I've kind of got over that now.
Yeah, me too. It was a real sting at the time.
I'm not going to go as far as to say it's worth it, but they are very
definitely the most expensive tobacco that we've had.
For sure.
But so I'm going with one of them at the minute, which is the C&D Burley Flake number 1, which has become a firm favourite of mine. It's what I'm smoking, daily, really. It's got the dark Burleys, Virginians, of course, and a little bit of Perique, which we keep saying, but bears repeating that it really adds something nice to the blend, a nice little touch of magic.
I like it. It's a nice smoke. I think for me, it's not going to be a regular. I think this is more of a regular smoke for me.
Right.
But what it's done is it's been a bit of a key to the door for other Burley blends. Yeah. And I'm noticing Burley blends better.
Right.
Since I've smoked a bit of Burley BF1.
Yeah.
But the surprise package for me was that autumn evening.
Yeah.
I've really I'd gone off a little bit of in terms of the aromatics. And I go as far as to say it's one of the best constructed aromatics I've ever smoked. It's a very, very, very good quality arrow.
It's definitely a high quality aromatic. It's not like a black Cavendish hot air, smells sweet but doesn't really taste of anything kind of smoke. It's a good solid smoke. It's not particularly strong in terms of nicotine or anything, but the flavour is good. It tastes like it smells. It's just a very nice, straightforward, not complex, sweet maple syrup kind of a smoke.
Yeah. I've had it by the waterside when I've been out fishing. Lovely.
Yeah.
I've had it inside with a cup of tea or a cup of coffee. Brilliant. just a great. Yeah, it's a good blend. That
Yeah.
I was very surprised.
And it's a C&D bestseller, and it's
like.
easy to see why. Yeah, absolutely.
So what about the other two? Byzantium?
Yeah, so we were smoking the Byzantium on the fishing video that we put out. And another cracker, to be honest. Yeah, like we were saying, expected a bit of a nightcap clone, but it wasn't that at all.
No.
It was much less Latakia heavy than nightcap was. Because to read the description of the blend, it had all the components of nightcap. Basically, it was quite unusual in that it is a no Virginia blend.
Yeah.
Typically everything's got a bit of Virginia in. It's like the backbone of a blend, but this one doesn't.
Yeah.
But it was really quite Perique forward.
Yeah. And I think that's what made the difference.
Yeah, definitely.
I think and I like nightcap. It's great smoke,
beautiful blend.
But this has kind of got the edge on it a little bit, I think, for me.
Yeah,
and I'm surprised at that because I really, really like nightcap.
Yeah, me too. I love nightcap. Nightcap, very like nighttime kind of sort of a mystical kind of smoke
with a book.
Yeah.
But
and that's what Latakia will do, because it's got that incense and that strong Latakia incense. It sort of reminds you of church, and it reminds you of like. But yeah, it's dialed down to a significant degree in the Byzantium, and the Perique is dialed up, and the Orientals are in there doing their thing with the sourness and the twang. But the Perique, the stewed fruit, the little bit of spice, that's what's coming forward, and that's
it's what makes the difference, I think, for those C&D blends. Really good. And on that note, Old Joe Kranz.
Yeah.
So we both kind of had I don't want to say it wasn't lukewarm, but like it was okay. I think the Haunted Bookshop, we kind of got on with it sort of okay.
I enjoyed the Haunted Bookshop.
I'm starting to enjoy it a bit more now, I think. But OJK, man, that was just an instant hit. I thought it felt like it just got everything that the bookshop had got, but a little bit more.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, it's dark burley as opposed to white burley, and I much prefer that darker taste. One of our viewers, I can't remember who, I do apologise, but he mentioned that white and dark burley is in relation to where the leaf is on the stalk,
of the
stem of the plant. But it makes a difference for me. It's much richer. The OJK, Old Joe Kranz, very similar to the Burley Flake.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, very similar. And it's hard for me to pick a clear favourite between the two of them.
Yeah.
But it's a beautiful smoke. It's a ribbon cut, so it's got cube cut burley, which is nice. But it's got ribbon.
Unusual for us. We don't get a lot of that.
Yeah, we don't really get cube cut stuff. No. And it's got Virginia and Perique ribbon, and it's a quicker burner than the Burley Flake. Definitely, I typically prefer a flake for the fact that it's slower burning.
Yeah,
the OJK is a quicker burn. It needs a tighter pack, I think.
Yeah.
But another cracking blend, rich, chocolatey. It's got that fruity and spicy hit from the Perique. It's lovely.
Cool. Okay, we've got a couple of guys on here. We've got Lazarus Tsokhatsidis. That sounds either very Greek or Cypriot. So you're all very welcome. Thanks for joining us, bro. So always had a problem with pipes overheating. Was smoking very slow. Recently saw someone's recommended to only light the centre of the tobacco and not the whole service. Best smoke ever. Yeah. So what do you think? Well, that's a good call. And what I've tended to do, and I noticed that you were doing it a little bit as well, so I've gone back to using a check tool because it's kind of got like an L shape tamper, and instead of just ramming it down, I've been trying to, because what I tend to find typically is that I'll have a bit of a crater, so I'll have a bit of a volcano thing going on, where I'm smoking just the very middle of the tobacco, and the outside where it's cooler on the bowl, and obviously in contact with that cake doesn't get the same amount of heat. So I'm just trying to lever. So instead of ramming and tamping, I'm kind of levering it down a little bit away from the cake.
Yeah.
So you end up with a little bit of a conical thing going on.
Yeah, a cone. Yeah.
On the top of the surface of the ashes, and lighting that. So that's kind of in line, I think, Lazarus, with the way that you've described, and I've noticed a big difference.
Yeah.
It burns much smoother now.
That's a great point, and I had the same thought when you read that comment from Lazarus, because if you're doing that, if you are tamping the way that we tamp, where you create that cone, if you were to just to light the center, you can imagine like lighting the tip of the cone, and then as you smoke it, it will gradually kind of like the diameter of the burn will slowly expand to the rim, and you probably avoid overheating that way. That makes a lot of sense.
And also thinking about it now, just as I've literally just lit up. So I follow the guy David McGrain from Foxes of Dublin. Yeah. Lovely guy, great guy. Like loves his job, very good at his job.
Yeah.
Does a video on packing and lighting, and it's really good. But he shows a method where he just wipes the lighter across it. And what that does, so if you've done that trick in it so it's slightly conical, if you're pushing the lighter across it, you're naturally, where the cone is higher up, it's going to get more of the heat than around at the bottom. So it'll naturally just heat that top part of it and just catch the hot part of the flame.
Right.
I think there's probably a bit of that going on there as well.
Yeah, and like in pipe smoking, generally speaking, what you want to do is you want to do the least required to get the result that you want.
Yeah.
It's a bit of like a Taoist approach, like a Wu Wei thing.
Yeah.
So like in Taoism, there's like this concept called Wu Wei, which translates as
path of least resistance.
Yeah, effortless action.
Yeah.
Right. So basically, you do the least required to get the result.
Yeah.
And it's like, so if you want to get a pipe lit, why don't you get a torch lighter and blast it, right? Because that would light the pipe, surely.
Yeah, set the pipe on fire.
Right, exactly. Yeah. But no, we don't do that. We take a soft flame and we delicately caress the leaf.
Tease it.
Yeah, we tease the leaf.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, so, and you hold the flame away from the leaf and you gently draw it in. To get as cool of a light as possible. And that's why I used to be a match guy, because the match has the coolest flame.
Yeah.
But in the end, for convenience sake, really, I got converted to lighters and Zippos particularly.
I think it's just good, like if you're out and about.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially if you're out to smoke outside, then you haven't got to kind of worry about stuff without burning your mouth. I want a really cool flame down at the bottom there.
Exactly.
I'll go to a match.
Yeah, exactly. And it's more. You can manipulate.
Yeah. You got a bit of that. You can get the angle right.
Yeah.
George says thanks for the Zippo video. Anytime. We're going to do a couple more sort of maintenance, lighting, packing. Maybe not a bad shout as well. Actually.
Yeah, lighting. Go on. We've got a packing one. So look for packing.
Yeah.
To go back to Lazarus, if you're still in chat, I know that in assuming you are a Hellenic fella, there's a bit of a tradition of olive wood pipes in Greece.
Oh.
Yeah, apparently they do burn a little hotter and they are prone to cracking.
Right.
But apparently it's a good smoke.
Okay.
And to be honest, that was an idea that we kind of chucked out, which is a video on pipe materials, because between the two of us we've got briar, of course, cob, clay, pear, mortar. We don't have a hardwood. We don't have like a cherry. Well, no, I do. I have a pear. So we've got that, but we don't have like a meerschaum. I think that's the one that we don't have really.
Yeah.
We don't have a meerschaum.
Yuck.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's definitely a birthday or a Christmas down the line. I think.
I just don't want my kids to break it.
No, I know. Yeah, that's a house pipe on a rack on a high place.
That's right up there.
Yeah.
Ocean Odyssey says, "Good evening, gents. Good evening. Great to have you with us. Happy birthday, Harry."
Thank you, brother.
Josh says, "I was talking pipe, real pipe, a pencil shanked, so billiard."
Okay.
That's interesting. I will have to have another look at that. So he's been trying to find Tolkien's actual type of pipe.
Right. So when you say pencil shank, do you mean that it's does that relate to the diameter of the shank, or does it relate to the shape, like a sort of octagon?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'll look at that. So George also says, "Happy birthday, Harry!
Thank you, bro.
Joyeux anniversaire."
Merci.
And some Japanese as well, by the looks of it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, or Chinese. I'm sorry, I can't read anything other than Cyrillic. I'll go with Cyrillic. I know a few Greek letters, but I'm afraid East Asian. No, I've had it.
No, I had a bit of a weeb phase when I was much younger, and I learned to pronounce the. It's called katakana. Yeah.
And hiragana.
Hiragana. Yeah, I learned to pronounce katakana. I kind of got somewhere with hiragana, but Japanese. It actually has a lot of. It's called kanji.
Kanji.
Which is
they're very similar.
The Chinese style kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, and apparently there's like a certain amount where you can, if you learn them, you can get proficient in reading a newspaper and such like that. Like signs. But yeah, I never got that far. I'm a Latin alphabet.
Bro. 100%.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've got. So yeah, George says, it's Mandarin. Okay, well, there's no chance of me getting that. I'm so sorry. Shish. We've got George, who's PRA. So if that's what you're looking for, a Scotty Purcell pipe, very spendy, but pencil shank for sure, and pencil shank long and thin.
Right, got you. Yeah, I like that. So, I like my Bing's favourite. Probably not a pencil shank, but it's quite a long shank on it. It's not quite a church warden.
Yeah.
Maybe you'd call it a 3/4 church warden or something like that. But I really like that, and it is based on the obviously Bing Crosby's favourite pipe, which I believe was a Merchant Sandblast. It's got like a nice long thin shank on it.
Yeah.
Recently, I've been admiring a Canadian, which is like quite a long, a very long shank and a very short stem. So might be looking at Canadian.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, so I think in terms of what we've got coming up, so obviously September's going to be Scorsese month.
Yeah.
October's going to be Giallo.
Yeah.
We're going to get some more of these. Yeah, Lovecraft for sure. I think we've got we'll have a few more pipecasts in the meantime. We'll do a little bit of one on. I think pipe materials is a good shout.
Yeah.
Pros and cons of each.
Yeah.
I might cheat and pick up a Meerschaum bowl.
Yeah.
For my Falcon.
That's a good shout. I mean, recently
they're back in stock.
Yeah. Recently, GQ. I don't know. I can't speak to the stock at the minute. But they had block bowls. For about £45, which is decent.
Very good.
Yeah.
So I may cheat and do that. So yeah, I think that'd be a good shout. I think also about lighting methods. Again, difference between don't use torch, but different types of flame. I think that'd be good. It'd be quite handy. And again, if there's anything that anybody wants us specifically to kind of go into, maybe I thought maybe a bit on. So we spoke a bit about cake. Trimming back cake would be good.
Yeah.
When to do it, how to do it. I think that might be quite helpful. So yeah, that'd be interesting, and we'll have a couple of more impromptu ones while we're by the waterside. I'm trying to get Harry Redpill on fishing. I bought him a load of fishing stuff for his birthday.
Yeah.
And we're gonna.
And kindly gave me a new rod.
Yeah.
Which I need some guidance on setting it up, and
so we'll get out and about on that.
Yeah.
We'll go and get catching some fish. I caught 2 more brown trout last weekend.
Nice.
Donated one to my dad because he blanked, and I felt a bit bad for him. But cooked that up really good. Garlic and butter, olive oil, seasoned it nice.
Beautiful.
Pan fried it. Roast potatoes, amazing. So we've got Highland Duncan says got a new Nordin since we were last on. There, do you know what? I keep coming back to one of them. I like that really knurled, very natural looking bowl. So Ellis on the Pipe and Pint Orthodox pub group on Facebook, he's got a few and they look amazing.
Did you look good? Very good, yeah.
So that'd be good.
I sort of like how they got that. There's like the contrast between like the Fangorn Forest root kind of bowl and then like a very slender stem coming out of it.
Yeah.
I do like that.
It looks really cool.
Yeah.
It's got a great aesthetic. George says, apparently a video on asking for a video on bowl shapes, how they match with different types of tobacco. I think that's a good and different cuts. I think that's a good shout. A number of times I've said to you, I've had a backy that I didn't really get on with.
Yeah.
Tried it in a different pipe, amazing. Especially Virginias. I think they are quite fussy. I find on the types of it can vary massively depending on what kind of pipe I'm smoking in.
Yeah.
So that's maybe a good shout.
Yeah, that's another good one. Absolutely.
And keep them coming.
Yeah, keep them coming in. So yeah, quick little check in. We've got some, we mentioned what we've got coming up in the future. So so do stay tuned for that. And so
we're hungry.
Yeah,
we're gonna go get some food and something to drink and a stick.
Yes.
Have a great evening, fellas.
Yeah.
And
thank you.
Thanks for getting on. Yeah. And
God
we'll
bless.
See you on the next one. God bless.
Nice one, man.